What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers R.E.D, Bumblebee, and Starscream. So this is the next in the wave of R.E.D figures. We did look at the last wave, which was the RC from Prime and the Cheetor from Beast Wars. So these two are the next ones in the wave. We will do some comparisons with the other G1 characters that have come out. But first, let's start with Bumblebee and take a look at how he is. So let's take a look at Bumblebee. Obviously, he is very large, especially when standing next to Starscream. I will do more comparisons later so you can see how he looks with the other figures. But let's get in close on the head. You can see he's got the blue eyes with the silver face and a very Bumblebee-esque head sculpt that looks nice. You got the black windows here for his chest, the Autobot tempo. For whatever reason, they put battle damage here on the chest and the arms and a little bit on the feet. A little strange there. Coming down, you do have the Bumblebee style beetle feet. On the back, you have a little bit of silver paint here and then silver paint here on the back of the tire. The tire does remove, it's just on a little peg. So, overall, pretty good looking Bumblebee, just a little bit on the chonky and big side. Let's take a look at his articulation before we get the accessories out. The head is on a ball joint. Because of the way it's designed, you don't get too much up and down. It goes side to side and rotates all the way around. Shoulders right around on this joint, up to here on a disc hinge. You just want to be careful with these. They don't feel very solid. Rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets the full bend. This plastic here is very, very wonky, so I'd just be careful with that as well. The wrist rotates at the base, and you get the up and down movement on the hand. You have a rotation at the waist. You do have an ab crunch, but because of the way he's designed, you can only get one click. If you take off this, for whatever reason, it's painted underneath, you can get him all the way down, but who would display him like that? Nobody. Nobody would display him like that. So I don't understand this at all. Why make the articulation if you can't use it? Continuing down, your rotation at the waist. The leg joint goes up to there, back to there, out to the side. Double jointed knee again on a kind of a wobbly plastic there. You have a ankle tilt all the way out to there, and ankle pivot just a little bit. It does bump up against it, but overall some good articulation there. You do get some accessories with this guy, so you get an Energon cube here. It's pretty good looking except for this side where they have the, I guess where they put it together. You can't really hold or anything, you just kind of set it down or whatever, have it next to him. He also gets these fisted hands, which are completely useless accessories. I would never put this on, I would just leave the hands that he came with. These are more expressive anyway, but they give you that. You also get his blaster here. It's just a gray plastic. It is kind of bendy. You can put that in his hand, either one. Doesn't matter. And you also get a blast effect here. This one is also a bendy plastic. That one goes into here. That. Or you can use this longer one. I'm not really sure why they gave you two. You can only have one in the gun at a time. So a little strange. He doesn't come with a jetpack or anything, so I don't know why you need two. Maybe just because they had to give you that number of accessories to make the price point. But there you go. I prefer the shorter one. I think that just looks a little bit nicer overall. And for size comparison, there is Bumblebee next to the R.E.D Optimus Prime. He is slightly shorter, maybe like 1/8 of an inch. But then because of the body, it just looks so bizarre. I don't know why they made him so big. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but it doesn't really scale with the other figures. But there you go for comparison. Now we'll take a look at the R.E.D Starscream. And he's got some nice detail on him. You have the gray painted face with the red eyes, gray paint here, the gold paint here for the chest, a little bit of gray paint here as well. Gray paint here on the knees. Blue paint for the shins, and then gray paint on the toes. You have this weathered, or I guess, burnt effect on the end of the null rays. You have the Tempo Autobot logo here, and then the red and white stripe paint there. On the back, you have this gray paint, a little bit more gray paint here, and then a little bit of gray inside his pylons here. So pretty good looking and good amount of paint on him. Let's go over his articulation. The head is on a double ball peg, so there's a ball peg in the neck and then on the head. So you can get the head up to there, down to there. A little bit of side to side on the head, and it rotates all the way around. The shoulders on a rotation here and on the side. The disc is a little bit weird, so just be careful with it. It doesn't feel all that solid. Coming to the back here, you have tilt on the wings. You can get them up and you can get them back, however you like to display your Seekers. You have a rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend. This does rotate. It's on relatively loosely, but it does stay. It's just kind of pegged on there. For the wrist, you get a rotation and a movement inward and outward like that. And you can rotate it around. At the waist, you have a rotation. Again, you've got this chest piece here. If you take that off, he gets all the way down to there. But with the chest piece on, you get nothing. So what the heck? Why do that? Why even put the joint in? I mean, who's going to display it without the cockpit? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't look right. So it's a little strange. Continuing down, you have a rotation of the waist. The legs go up to there, back to there, out to the side, rotation at the thigh, double jointed knee, and again on this wonky plastic here. You have ankle tilt this way and this way. It goes up to there, it goes down to there. You do get a bunch of accessories for Starscream here. Let's take a look at those. So first off, you get these more expressive hands, which I actually prefer. I always end up taking off these fisted hands. We'll leave one on just for you can see the difference, but that looks nice. He can be firing off his null ray there. It's Autobots. There you go. You also get his coronation set. Actually, let's look at these first. You get these blast effects. So you can put those on the end of his null rays and he can be shooting some Autobots. And you can use both if you want. But I'm just going to use the one for now. They are, again, a rubbery plastic. And now, finally, you get the coronation set. So you get 2 of these shoulder pads. They're not painted. They look like they're painted, but they're just in this kind of shiny purple plastic. At least I believe they're just purple plastic. I don't think they're painted. You get this cape. It is cloth. It's the first cloth we've had in the R.E.D series. And it has these 2 loops, which go in through here and then attach. We'll show you that in a second. And then you get this crown, which is painted red on the front and on the tips, so that you can just get right on his head here. And we'll take off the blast effect there. So pretty good looking crown. Now for these, just fold these wings back for a second and then fold the arms up like this. That makes it easiest to install the cape. So go ahead and take one of the holes, get that onto that tab like that, and then that's going to press into here. You do want to be careful with these because those pegs are just rubbery plastic, and I mean, you're putting stress on it doing this. There's not really a better way. In fact, maybe just take off the null ray to give yourself some space. But you got to get that peg in that slot on the back of the arm. And I will tell you, it does not feel good. It did go in, but that doesn't feel good at all. All right, next you want to take the cape and kind of thread it through here onto the back. It just wants to get right in that spot like that. All right, go ahead and take this one, put that on the peg, and then do the same thing on this side. We're going to get that installed into his shoulder. And again, these don't feel great, so you just want to be careful. And I like to open it up to make sure that's getting enough clearance, and then I'll squeeze it together. Make sure it gets in. And yeah, that doesn't feel great. I will be honest with you. But there you go. He lost his crown. Let's get that back. And of course he wouldn't be right without his null ray, so let's put those back on as well. And there he is, fully coordinated with all of his stuff. And for a quick size comparison, there is Starscream next to the red version of Megatron and Soundwave. And again, this makes no sense. Starscream is actually taller than both of them. I don't know what they were thinking. This makes no sense. Why at least make him the same size? Why make him bigger? But there you go for the scale. It is definitely bigger. So final thoughts on Transformers Red, Bumblebee, and Starscream. Let's start with the positives. I like the accessories that come with Starscream. The first time we've gotten a cloth anything in this line, and the shoulder pads and the crown look nice. I also kind of like the blast effect you get with Bumblebee, but the second blast effect is kind of silly because you can't use it. There's no backpack or anything, any other weapon, so it just ends up being an extra accessory. This same thing, he can't hold it. There's no hand. Like Megatron came with a hand attached to this, and you could put that into his hand or into the slot on his arm. This one, it just sits on the side. You can't really do anything with it, so kind of useless. And then these fists are totally useless to me. I never use fisted hands. I always use open hands. So as far as accessories go, I like the Starscream, but I don't love the Bumblebee ones. As far as quality is concerned, they are not good. The joints don't feel good. The plastic overall feels kind of like, McDonald's Happy Meal toy plastic. Now, you wouldn't get something like this in a Happy Meal, more than what you would get, but it just feels like that, quality-wise. Even these knee and elbow joints all feel like they're going to break over time. The Starscream feels even worse, actually, especially the joints that attach the shoulder pads to the shoulders. Those feel like you probably only want to do that a couple times, so you're not going to break it. I also don't understand why they scaled them this way. Bumblebee is the largest character of all of the characters here, and then Starscream is taller than both Megatron and Soundwave for some inexplicable reason. So for that reason, I just explained, I can't recommend this. These aren't good figures. They're not fun. I mean, they're okay to put on a desk and display and leave, but that's really it. If you just want to have something on display and you're not planning to play with it or move it or pose it, I think it'll work. But the more you play with these, the more likely they're going to break. So for that reason, I don't recommend it. And for me personally, I'm not planning to get any more of these red line figures. In fact, I think I'm done. I'm probably going to sell these off. So that's really it for today. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.